repertoire, actually, for someone so young. Usually when you're younger, you specialize in one area and then you slowly add new openings, but Arjun can play anything. Okay, it's the Italian game. So this one could get very complicated later, could get very tense, but we could also see a very kind of slow maneuvering battle. This one is rich and full of possibilities. One thing I was going to say, Arjun, he will find a way to mix things up. He will find a way to be aggressive and kind of complicate things, maybe go for the world champion at some points. That's definitely something he's capable of. Just right now, after that first game, it's important that he just recovers, forgets. And, okay, this last bishop move. We saw him employ Magnus frowning. That's a bit strange. We saw Arjun employ something very similar to this yesterday against Liam Lei. And it worked out quite well. Magnus, however, has come prepared. And this bishop move, I've never seen it before.
Database also confirms.
Another novelty.
Another
by
novelty,
Magnus.
yeah. I mean, I like the idea of waiting. I think that's a great suggestion. And what about this idea of moving the rook with the potentially the idea of just pushing forward in the center, saying, hey, you've taken a move with your light square bishop. Instead of getting your king to safety, let's mix things up.
The fact that he's stopped now for more than 1 minute and he hasn't castled immediately, that makes me think that he's going to delay it as long as possible. Probably commentators curse, he'll castle now.
Yeah.
But I think that's maybe the only way to justify this last bishop move by black. And there we go, he does retreat. He's going to wait. He's going to see what happens first, and then that pawn push, the black g-pawn coming to attack white's bishop on the edge of the board.
Plan he should adopt, and he's gone for a flexible approach, just developing the knight. What do you choose, a pair of knights or a pair of Kinder Buenos?
Oh, I'll do the chocolate.
The knights.
The knights.
The knights. And I'll play you both over the chessboard.
Yeah.
And I suspect that Magnus is maybe going to gambit the pawn. OK, and here it comes.
We'll find out. Because this pawn is attacked 3 times. Remember, we don't want to touch it. And Magnus, you're right, he does gambit a pawn. And what is the idea here? White, if he captures this way, guess black can just take back. So we will find out, perhaps, how to evaluate this position. Arjun has taken in the centre, and I'm expecting Magnus to recapture.
Cryptic tweet by Peter Heine, Magnus Carlsen's coach, 7 minutes ago.
Well, if Heine is quoting it, then it's probably in the mainstream databases, perhaps not on the online database. But, well, Arjun, actually, because it feels like black's attack is a lot more menacing and maybe easier to play. However, having said that, I really like his last move. Developing the knight, and that knight is getting ready to spring forward, and look at that. On the board, the king has gone to the left.
Games, and I asked him what it was, and he was like, oh, I don't know, it's like some Pan-American junior championship.
Oh, my God, that's insane.
Yeah.
That the world champion is not, like, too big to look at any old tournament. I love that.
This white bishop, maybe he could still consider it, to be honest, but OK, Magnus just takes a timeout, brings his rook across, over-defending his central pawn. A bit odd, I thought the black rook might start pushing, kind of support a pawn push later, but yeah, still very tense.
Overprotecting his pawns in the centre. But OK, well, this is also a lot of fun.
Yeah.
When one side just lights the match and lets the spark take over.
He's trying to start a fire against that black king, and I was about to say, I don't think Magnus is going to grab a pawn. He could, at least here, have captured twice. This would have been very tempting to some players, maybe, and gone on a journey with his queen. But, OK, first of all, the queen would have lost protection of this pawn. But even if this pawn wasn't up for grabs, lines would open up towards the black king. Suddenly, the black king not feeling comfortable at all. Magnus, therefore, just blocks things up and pushes a pawn. Now it's going to take white a long, long time to create any open lines towards this piece.
I'm sorry, but I don't. Because he gets too mad when he loses. But my friend, on the other hand, she thinks him very handsome.
Yeah, simply Arjun's playing some great moves. The white knight did jump in. We love that f5 square. We've talked about it before. It didn't get captured. White's knight sits there nice and pretty. Instead, the black queen retreated, and Arjun now has placed the white queen on a good square. Magnus there frowning before crossing his arms. That body language tells me he's confused as well. It's hard to evaluate this position. Both sides, look at those 4 knights as well, stacked up, all 4 of them. It's like dominoes somehow. And just like dominoes, things could fall for one side. If they're just tipped over the edge, and right now, bring the rook across. Magnus looks surprised. Do you think he's going to start trying to attack?
I thought he was going to trade, yeah.
White's knight was just too strong, right? Actually, if we go back to the current position on the board about rook takes rook, I was about to say he could possibly be thinking about queen takes pawn as well. And he's done it, going on the counterattack. But, OK, he does this, and then now surely he has to step his king across. You have to keep this bishop. You can't let the white queen in towards your king. It's still quite a solid setup, actually. These two pieces defend pretty well. OK, he does this. And now white regains the piece. So white has actually won a pawn in the process by using his queen and grabbing this pawn. Magnus, he's trying to compensate for that by going forward. This game is surely going to end with a winner. I just don't know who, but it just looks like chaos. The knight is attacked now. When the knight moves, it's black's idea to start trying to push this pawn, trying to blow open the position.
But I don't think he has time, because the white knight is threatening to go over to the b5 square. And here we have it. The pawn has pushed forward.
2 squares away from promotion. Get rid of it. Take it off the board, and he does so. Anything could happen. White is a pawn up and has the double, has the bishop pair, so white is a favourite. Arjun just defends by sliding his bishop out. Very, very logical move. If this rook moves now, it's going to end in checkmate. If the rook retreats anywhere, how is the evaluation bar so far in the middle here? I mean, it's just so imbalanced. OK, he does play this move defending his rook. They're entertaining us now. The first game was kind of strategic. This one is just, I mean, it's like dynamite, this game.
In classical play.
Yeah. I think at all levels, it tends to kind of zone in on that amount, 54% for white.
Oh, do we have a blunder? Sorry.
Yeah, we absolutely do.
He's playing with fire, Erigaisi, whether it's good or not. The evaluation bar tells us black is winning, but how can you let the black queen so near the white king? Look at the black queen and knight. They're the ideal attacking duo. The knight is the only piece that can move the way the queen can't. And I don't see the knockout blow yet, I must confess, but it looks scary. He finds it. Wow.
Whoa.
If he finds this move, he's doing the checkmating. If he played any other move, he would have been checkmated. Wow. Jovanka, you're right. This knight is coming in now. There's also the idea of some checks. There's also the black knight coming to take this pawn. I think black can keep it simple now. There's still a threat of checkmate on the back rank, but black can create some escape squares, taking a knight with check, and another check, and yeah, black would win here because you can simply take the bishop on the next turn. Instead, Arjun has gone to capture this knight, and Magnus, he's going to deliver checkmate. It's unstoppable now. Checkmate coming on this square, or checkmate coming via the knight on this square. 2 threats, and the white king is doomed. Magnus is going to win.
Yeah, Erigaisi shakes his head. He can see that he's losing. Game number 2 as well. Is this due to some inaccuracies by him, or is Magnus again playing incredible chess?
I mean, we can't fault Erigaisi. Yes, he blundered, but it's, from a human point of view, Magnus's move was just genius, right?
Yeah.
And to have calculated that, and there was such a narrow path as well. He forced Magnus to find like 3 or 4 only moves to win. Anything else, Erigaisi would have been winning. So he kind of gambled, Erigaisi, and didn't pay off, but...
And was it that knight move by Magnus? And here we go. Yeah. Wow, Magnus Carlsen is up by 2 points now in the final. Erigaisi with the white pieces. He loses in 30 moves. Magnus Carlsen is on fire.